Hi everyone, hope you're well. I'm making a video. I created a starter template for Renko, and I am going to share a link to a Google Drive with that file on YouTube. If you're not in the Discord, you have access to the templates and the indicators in the Discord channel for that. But if you're not in the Discord, I'm going to make this video explaining what this template is, and I'm sharing a link for the Google Drive where you can download the indicators and the template. And I'll go through on how to install it in a second, but we're going to start backwards and go from explain the chart first. So I'm going to open a new chart with this template. I'm going to just use NQ for now. I trade on MNQ, but I'm just going to do it on NQ for right now. And this is going to assume that you've already installed all of the indicators and you have the template loaded into your system. This is how you load a chart from a template in Ninjatrader. So you're going to click New Chart and then click your instrument, and then you're going to load your template up here. So we're going to look for our template up here. And if you've loaded the template, you're going to have a revised starter NQ Ninja chart. You're going to click on that. You're going to click on Type and come down to Renko. And then you're going to select your brick size for NQ. We're going to do a short-term chart. I use 20 and 2 or 25 and 5. And I switch, depending on which one looks better. I like to load at least 50 days. And then I'm going to go to the bottom and put do not plot. I don't like the chart to mark up my entries. Clutters your chart with a bunch of crap. And then click OK. And then I'll make this larger. It should open this chart for you. And I'm just going to right click and click on the indicators and explain what the indicators are that I have loaded on this chart. They're all free. I made a template with all free indicators. I'm also going to share my personal chart templates, but I have some paid indicators on there. So I wanted to make, a good chart for someone that doesn't have those paid indicators. So that's what this is. On here, you're going to find the chart watermark. That is right here, this NQ220. It tells me in the background because I use a lot of charts on my monitor. So it tells me what chart I'm on. So I know based on this, I'm on the NQ Ninjatrader chart, and my bars are set at 20 and 2. The next one is the bar status. I gotta move this around a little bit. Sorry. Let me go back to indicators. Nope, hold on, I still have to move this around. Let me get to the front. There we go. Indicators. Here we go again. The next one is the bar status by Ninjaco. That is this right here. You see this green line with one. This tells me the price for the bar, the next green bar to print, and the price for the next red bar to print. So once this hits to 1700 2.75, another red bar will print. I use this sometimes to place my stops. Like if I was going to enter a short here, I could put my stop feasibly behind this line, because if a green bar printed, obviously my premise was wrong. I would probably put my stop here, but I'm just telling you what I'm using it for. The next one is the Keltner channel. That's these white lines that you see here. I'm using the Keltner channel as a ribbon. And for continuation trades or trend following trades, I only take shorts below the Keltner channel and longs above it. Next is the ADX. That's this blue line you see here. I'm looking for this blue or turquoise line to be above this white dotted line, which is set at 20. I want the ADX above 20 before I will take a trade. That just tells me that there's enough volume and volatility in the market to move to my target. And then the break even plus is this over here. You see where it says BE plus 2, plus 4, plus 8, plus 20. It's just an automatic. I can click on one of these and it'll move my stop automatically to break even plus. I like to lock in some of my profits. Next is the VWAP intraday. This is a free VWAP for someone that doesn't have access to the volume profile tools on Ninjatrader. I think you need a lifetime license for that. I use that VWAP, but I found this one and it's free. If you don't have access to that one, this is good enough. If you do have access to the other one, I would probably use the other one. But you see here, we're clearly in a downtrend. We're below. This is the VWAP line. It'll turn red when we're below VWAP and green when we're above it. When it's a strong trend, you'll see the VWAP. This indicator highlights the background of the chart. So you see here it's highlighted red. And then when it's in an uptrend, you'll see it's highlighted green or blue. I can't remember. I can't see it. So I'm guessing it's going to be blue or green. And then if it's not highlighted at all, there's no highlighted background, it means we're not in a strong trend and we could be in a trading range. So you want to be cautious of that. Next, I have the AU Super Trend. I found that recently and I'm just kind of testing it out on my own charts. I thought it would be good to put on this chart. It gives you clear entries and stop placement. So that's where you see these entries here. So right now you have a red entry, and this red line here is the ATM stop or ATR stop for you placement. So if you entered here, you would put your stop above there. And the same thing for the long entries. It prints a green arrow and a line for you to put your stop. So the entry is here and the stop goes here. And then the next one is the awesome oscillator. That's this right here. I just think it's a good filter. You obviously want this to be green and above zero. This is green and below zero. This is green and above zero. This little dotted line here is the zero line. So you want to be above zero and green for long entries and below zero and red for short entries. And then where you see the VWAP pulling away from the bars on the oscillator, that means the volume is decreasing. Ideally, you want it to be above that, the bars to be above the line. That tells you there's a high volume in the market. And then when you see it turn gray here, that just means a pullback or a reversal is happening. So you see here, this was a pullback. You can use this for entries. Sometimes I do if I want to get a continuation entry, like I would have maybe gotten in here. Or here, I mean, especially with a pullback. And then what else do we got going on here? Order line decorator is the indicator you see on my charts that shows the monetary value of my stop and target. You don't need it for this chart to work. I just like to see it. It tells me the actual dollar value of how much it costs for my stop placement. I'm risking only $220. Rather than having to think about it and figure it out in my head, I can see it visually. I like that. And then you have the zombie MACD filter. That's this on the bottom here. It's just a longer term extra, level of confluence. Obviously you want it to be green if you're going to take a long and red if you're going to take a short. And then the last indicator I have on here, which is not named, so it doesn't show up here at the top. I don't like for all them indicator names to be showing up top, is the engulfing bar. And then let me close this really quick so I can open the chart a little more. And that indicator is what you see here. When you see this orange bar, that's the engulfing candle. This is a reversal bar. So the orange bars on this chart are bearish reversals, and blue candles on this chart, or bricks, I should say. They're not candles, they're bricks. Blue bricks on this chart are bullish reversal candles. And then the white ones are what they call engulfing candles. And realistically, what they are traps on lower time frames. Like I like to take these a lot, especially on the higher time frame chart that I use. But they're you'll go through and look at them. They're pretty reliable entries. So these are another point of entry for me. I enter based off of those candles. I don't take the reversal candles, just the like the blue and orange candles. I don't take those. Like I'll always wait for the next candle to print to make sure it is green or red before I enter off of one of those reversals. But you could use this oscillator as an entry point. You have these arrows now, which look like they're pretty good entries. Like right here would be a good entry. The oscillator is green above 0. ADX is above 20. The long-term MACD trend filter is green. It's above my Keltner channel. I would take this entry, just based on that. And those are kind of the rules I would say to stick by. Now, this here long entry, you know, the oscillator is above 0 in green, we're above 20, and the filter is green, but I see the VWAP is red. The background is red. We don't want to enter into that. It's counter trend trade. I'm just gonna go through. I'm looking for a place where VWAP was bullish. Hold on. Looks like a big downtrend here. Come on now. Oh, there we go. It is blue. Yep. So you'll see the more background that's colored, the stronger the trend is. But when it gets up here and it's choppy, you know, that's where you see it's not that great. Or the background isn't highlighted much. You know, it's just a good visual, like heads up, like, hey, be careful here. You know, like this was a trading range day. And I think it did a pretty good job. I mean, you would have gotten stopped out if you took the shorts, but I feel like this setup here is going to help you stay out of some of that because given the VWAP is red, you can only take shorts. And like this entry right here, there was no red bar printed below 0. So you would have been saved there. Unless you waited and took a little later, and you would have gotten stopped out there. Let's see this one. Same thing here. And this one is the same thing here. Which is why it's really important to know when you're in a trading range. But a good way to know is when I'm looking at this, and this isn't, you're not, the counter channel is kind of in between the bars. You see that here? Like that's a good indicator. It's not really above. It's not holding price above or below. It's going back and forth. So that'll tell you you're in a trading range. I mean, most strategies work really great until you get into a trading range. So it's really important to know that you're in a trading range. You would have only taken the short entries here because of the VWAP. And then I think even on this VWAP, you could activate the bands. Yeah, you could activate these guys here. Let's say we'll put it on, let's just put it on a color real quick. Does it give me any? No, that didn't work. Let me see. I don't use this one, so I gotta play with the indicator a little bit. Okay, that's why, because I've got these on transparent. All right, let's make these lavender too. And then that should help. Let's see. Does it give us? Yep. All right, so it gives you these lines here. They're the standard deviation lines. And you can use those as support and resistance or reversal zones, potentially. I don't use them that way. So I've made a change to this template and I want to revert it back to the way it was. So I'm just going to go and right click and go to templates and then click load. And really quickly, if there's a template in here you want to delete, like I can see this starter ninja, I'm just going to click on it once and then right click and then click remove. It'll take it out. It'll ask me if I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. But I want to reload the chart I'm using, so I'm going to look for the revised starter ninja load, and it's just going to put it right back to the way it was. And then once you have your chart loaded, just right click and it's the way you want it. Just hit templates, save as, name it, and save it. So this is just a starter chart. I don't take any entries based off just this chart alone because again, look, you got this whole, like, it's a short-term chart and you've got all of this going on. I always take entries and I really look at my long-term Renko chart for entries, and then when I decide what direction I want to be in and whatnot, and then I look just for an entry on the short-term chart that would make my stop smaller, like a lower risk entry. I take my trades on the short term, but I'm looking at the long term too for entry and criteria and all of that. So I want obviously them both to align to each other and be going the same direction. So anyway, that's what the chart is. If you want to use a template, you can click on the link in the video description and it'll give you a link to this OneDrive, and then you can download them. So there's a folder here, and it's called, Start a Renko template. There's a folder here with all of the indicators that are needed for this. You want to install them first. So let's say we want to go to the engulfing bar. Just click this here to download it. It's going to go into your downloads folder. And then to install it, you're going to go to Tools, Import NinjaScript add-on. It should open up your folder for your downloads, and you're going to click on engulfing bar. This says I've already got it installed. Do I want to replace the file? So I'm just going to click yes. And then sometimes it takes a couple minutes. And then sometimes if you have like more than one indicator from the same like developer, it'll ask you a couple times if you want to replace parts of it. Just click yes. And then click OK. And that installed the indicator. So you just want to go down the line, install all of the indicators, and then you want to install the template. And how you're going to do that is you're going to click on open your folder. And then I don't know where you have your Ninja installed. Sometimes it can be installed on OneDrive. Mine is on my PC. So you're going to either go into your OneDrive or however you install things, wherever you're saving things to. Mine is on my PC, so I'm going to go to my Documents folder. And then I'm going to click on my Ninja 8. And then I'm going to scroll down to Templates. And then I'm going to click on Chart. And then I'm just going to drag the downloaded chart into this folder. And the same way, if you want to share one of your templates with someone, you can just drag the template from here into, onto your desktop. You can drag it into like the chat at Discord and share it. You can drag it into an email, however you want to share your templates. You can just drag them in that way. Okay, so here we have two charts. I have a long-term Ninjatrader chart for NQ. This one is set at 80 and 10. And I will put in the descriptions all the different bar settings that I would suggest or you start with for ES and for NQ in the description of the video. And then I have the short-term one that's set on NQ. I always watch NQ on the higher time frame, or for volume profile. All of that I want to look at NQ, not not MNQ. I'm trading micros, but I still look at NQ for all my analysis. And then on this one, the data series bars are set at 20 and 2. Sometimes I change them here. I have all my presets made. Sometimes I put them on 25 and 5. So we can see what that looks like. Sometimes I play around with the settings to see if I see that doesn't look good at all. That's clearly choppy market. Sometimes I want to get away from that and I want to see more clear price. So I will move them around. We'll go back to 20. It's a little smoother. But how you do that is you just click on configure. And when you first start, you want to add your Renkos, add Ninjatrader, Renko, Unirenko, whatever Renkos you want to use. Add that here. You're just going to click on add, and then you're going to find it. Once you loaded the indicator, it'll be there. Let's cancel. So you add that, and then once you add that, you click on it, and you come to this side, and you click add. And then let's just say we want to do, I'm just using this for a reference to show you how to do it. Let's say do 600 brick size and 601. Obviously you wouldn't really use those, but it's going to load them down here. And then I like mine to be in order. So if you want to make yours in order, then you can just highlight it and then move up, 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 down, down, down. I'm going to remove it. And that's how you add them all. And then again, I'll put all the different settings into the description that you could set. But okay, so right now we're on MNQ here at 20 and 2, and our larger time frame or price, Renko's move based on price, not time, is 80-10. So I just wanted to go over entry criteria that I would suggest. Obviously, do whatever is comfortable for you, but this is how I would suggest using this starting out in sim. Of course, you should always be trading in sim until you're comfortable enough to, consistently win trades in real money. Um, Entry criteria, let's say for short entries here, you have an entry arrow print. The VWAP is red, the background is red. At the time that you get that entry, the awesome oscillator is below zero in red. ADX is above the 20 line, and the VWAP long-term trend filter is red. That is a good entry, but we always want to go to the higher time frame chart and check. And looking at the higher time frame chart right now, I would not take that entry. And the reason for that being is the candles are green, and the awesome oscillator here is below zero, but it's green. I would not take this entry. So let's go and look at this one. Here's another. Nope. This is not a good entry because the MACD filter is red. Is green, I'm sorry. But after this one here, you could have entered. Everything, it meets all the criteria. That's good. But I'm going to come over here, and the bars are, assuming that was here, the bars are red. I might have took this only because we are clearly in a downtrend, and this looks like it's a pullback. I might have taken a shot at this, but for starting out, until you get used to them, I would just make sure everything is aligned. So being that this oscillator is not red, I wouldn't take that. Ideally what you want is a red arrow, everything to be lined up the way it's supposed to be here. And then you want to come over here and everything is also lined up. You want that confluence here. And then for long entries, it's going to be the opposite. You want price, you want an arrow to print, or an engulfing candle, or you can even use the awesome oscillator for entries. When it changes and it prints up in green, you could use that as an entry. Any of those work, honestly. But you want everything to be lined up. The MACD filter is green, ADX above 20, the awesome oscillator is above this zero line, and green. And the ATR here that the awesome oscillator is printing is green. And price is above the Keltner channel. And the VWAP is green. Ideally, the background is blue. And then you come over here, and the background is blue and the candles are green, and the awesome oscillator is green. Everything looks good. That's a good trend continuation trade. You want them to be lined up. I created these to hopefully avoid chop. When you see the prices going above and below this Keltner channel and it's kind of flat, that's a choppy market. We want to see price come above or below it and then it hold and continue. We don't want it to close below there. That indicates that we're not trending. The price should hold. Like here, it's a great run. If you got in here, you could have moved your stop up here, then moved it to here, then move it to here, or you could just follow the green lines. You could follow the Keltner channel. If I'd entered down there, probably my long-term stop would have been at the VWAP. Would have been a good target, like maybe a first target. However your entry and exit criteria are, I'd definitely be targeting the VWAP first. But those are just two ways you can use this. I would recommend that you obviously sim trade this for a while and just get used to it. You can change the indicators, take them off, put different ones on, whatever works for you. I just gave you something to start with. But one way I used the Renko bars when I first started was I was still entering off the 5-minute chart, but instead of taking like a 2-point scalp, I was holding it. And I was using the Renko charts to hold onto my trades for a longer time. So instead, of taking a point, I would get in here and then I would get out when the red bars crossed the, Keltner channel. And sometimes, a lot of times I would get break, especially in markets like this, I would be break even most of the time. or maybe even a little red, because trading micros, the fees are high. You know, I might have ended up a little bit red, but very little. It was not a big deal. And then I would catch like these, and I would catch like 100 points or 50 points. It makes those little red ones not even worth like considering. So I didn't worry. I don't worry about being wrong in a trade, because my stop is pretty, you know, good. Like my stop placement, if I entered here, my stop would be either below this ATR or the pivot. And then, you know, I move it up pretty quickly and lock in my profits. But you definitely want to give it some room. But you'll see I'm going to start recording all my trades, how I'm using these charts. I just wanted to give some templates to kind of play with. Okay, that's all I have for that topic. Like I said, the chart templates are in the Google Drive for you. The long-term Renko charts are going to be under the file with my personal templates, and then there's also a file for a starter Renko template. And then also you're going to find a Word document in here in that file drive that gives you all the chart settings. It's just called Renko Brick Settings. And then also I loaded a spreadsheet that I use to just keep track of my progress on my funded accounts. I made a copy of it on this date, so that only lists there. It doesn't have all of my history in there, but I left it in there. It adds up for you. It's set to auto calculate. So you know, if I change the number here, it will auto calculate for you. So I left it in there. You can just change the numbers here if you need to. But this is the spreadsheet that I use to track my progress. And then on the next tab, it's just, it's kind of like I call it projections, but you know, anywhere it's highlighted, you can change the numbers. Like you can change the number of contracts to 2, and it'll auto calculate everything, and it tells you what your risk is, what your profit is, and I have that in ticks and this in points, just to make that clear. And then if you took 2 trades with 2 micros, your daily profit would be, you know, it would kind of calculate what your yearly is. It's a fun spreadsheet. These are micros, and then this is for minis. I trade micros, so I'm here. And this is per account, obviously. But, you know, my daily profit potential could be, you know, $1,000 per account with 2 trades if I stuck to these parameters. So you can change it around and just, you know, see how it works for you and what works best for you. That's what I kind of use it for. And then on the final tab is just a journal page setup. You know, you can put your win-loss, date of your trade, how many contracts, you know, what your tick goal was, how many ticks you did get, and then you can put your notes in here if you wanted to do that. I'm recording all my trades now, so I'm not keeping a written journal anymore. But I put those in there. So enjoy. You can use the indicators on any charts. You don't have to use them on Renko's. They're all free indicators. So if you want to put them on your own charts or make a different setup or however you want to do it, good luck with your trading, and I will catch you on the next video. Okay, bye.